Hello everyone, welcome to In the Trenches, Kroll's weekly threat intelligence briefing. Today is the 6th of October. My name is George Glass, and joining me today from the Threat Intel team is Ryan Hicks and Ethan Afori. This week we have a lot to cover. Scattered Spider or Shiny LAPSUS Hunters hosting a data leak site. That news also covers Klopp attacking Oracle EBS and a Red Hat GitLab breach. We also have some news of VMware vulnerabilities, COLDRIVER using ClickFix again, a new China Nexus APT group, and AKIRA ransomware exploiting SonicWall VPNs. So let's start with the KTA-243, the group that Kroll tracks as KTA-243, and going by the moniker Shiny LAPSUS Hunters, Scattered Spider, and others, has launched a ransom extortion site on both the clearweb and the Tor Onion network. The site lists alleged breaches relating to Salesforce data, which the group has been threatening to release for some weeks. Individual organizations are listed with data volumes and a uniform ransom deadline of the 10th of October 2025. The site also offers PGP verification, a tutor.io contact link, and a Telegram channel. Currently, 39 organizations are included in the data leak site, but note that the group previously said they had 760 victims from previous Salesloft breaches, which they likely used to compromise Salesforce instances. Therefore, additional posts may be made. Salesforce has issued an advisory on October 2nd, confirming awareness of the extortion attempts, but states there are no indication that its platform has been compromised and that the activity appears linked to past or unsubstantiated incidents. So at present, the victim list should be treated as unverified threat actor claims, and Kroll is going to continue to monitor the situation very closely. Linked to this is an attack that was recently conducted by Klopp, which we track as KTA-080. Organizations running Oracle e-Business Suite or EBS are being targeted by spear phishing emails claiming theft of sensitive ERP data. Kroll has confirmed that multiple companies have received extortion emails from an actor claiming themselves as Klopp. The emails state that Oracle e-Business was targeted and victims appear to be using Oracle as well. Kroll has seen ransom demand emails which match contact emails used in previous Klopp ransom demands. Kroll currently understands that the attack first occurred on or around September 29th, 2025. The activity described closely matches previous Klopp modus operandi, attacking an application across multiple organizations simultaneously, exfiltrating sensitive data, and then demanding ransom days or weeks after the initial compromise. Initially, Oracle released the following statement. Oracle is aware that some Oracle e-Business Suite customers have received extortion emails. Our ongoing investigation has found the potential use of previously identified vulnerabilities that are addressed in the July 2025 critical patch update. However, on October 5th, Oracle released a new advisory stating that a new vulnerability was also leveraged to attack EBS customers, and that is CVE-2025-41245 with a CVSS score of 9.8. We know this has been exploited in the wild, and there are fixes available, which are available from the Oracle site itself. The vulnerability is remotely exploitable without authentication, i.e. it may be exploited over a network without the need for a username and password. Successful exploitation means that remote code execution is possible, and a public POC was posted on the Shiny LAPSUS Hunters Telegram channel, potentially indicating a link between the two groups. The release of the public POC mean that additional exploitation by this vulnerability from other threat groups is highly likely in the short term. Kroll advises checking spam filters for potential extortion emails and limiting exposure to Oracle e-Business Suite where possible, applying all patches, and contacting Kroll for a compromise assessment if you're running Oracle EBS. In addition to all of that, Red Hat has reported that it detected unauthorized access to a GitLab instance used for internal Red Hat consulting collaboration. It notes that it launched an investigation and found that an unauthorized third party had access and copied the data from the instance. The actor, calling itself the Crimson Collective, was behind the breach and allegedly contacted Bleeping Computer to state that the intrusion occurred approximately 2 weeks ago. According to Bleeping Computer, the actor claimed that it, quote, found authentication tokens, full database URIs, and other private information in the Red Hat code, which they claimed to use to gain access to downstream customer infrastructure. The actor further claimed that it had attempted to contact Red Hat for an extortion demand, but received no response. Allegedly, in total, 870 gigabytes of compressed data across 28,000 development repositories was copied. Analysis into the data confirms this, with credentials, pipeline configurations, CI/CD secrets, and more data released by the actor across thousands of repositories for many well-known organizations. A post was made to the Scattered Lapsus Hunters leak site, suggesting that the Crimson Collective are also working alongside or as part of the new collective. The post suggests a higher amount of data than initially stated, with multiple terabytes and a deadline set for the 10th of October 2025, just like the other breaches listed on the site. Red Hat has clarified that the breach appears to be limited to just the GitLab environment used by its consulting team, and that it does not have reason to believe that the security issue impacts any of its other Red Hat services or products, including its software supply chain or downloading Red Hat software from official channels. Red Hat has stated that it will contact any affected organizations directly. Next up, we have some vulnerabilities in VMware. Broadcom released a series of updates to VMware and related products, which include fixes to 3 vulnerabilities. The release comes alongside information from security researchers at Envisio, who reported that CVE-2025-41244, they reported that to Broadcom after they found the exploitation in the wild. They believe the activity to be related to KTA 461, also known as UNC 5174. We're recommending that VMware products are kept up to date to the latest versions, and details are available in our long-form report. Finally, from me, KTA 260, aka COLDRIVER, uses ClickFix tactics in a new campaign. This was discovered by Zscaler's Threat Labs, who observed a new campaign linked to the Russian-associated APT group. The attack begins with a ClickFix-style social engineering lure that tricks a user into copying and pasting malicious commands into the Windows Run dialog box, which in turn launches a DLL downloader component, which Zscaler's Threat Labs named Bait Switch. This downloader then stages payloads and deploys a new PowerShell-based backdoor dubbed Simple Fix. ThreatLab attributes the campaign to ColdRiver with moderate confidence based on overlaps with victim targeting, shared techniques, and malware lineage. KTA 260 is known to target both individuals and organizations that misalign with Russian government objectives. Kroll is confident that the current detection capability is sufficient to mitigate this threat and has ingested indicators of compromise into monitoring systems. More details on that is available in the long-form report. And now I'll hand over to Ryan to take us through a few more bulletins. Over to you, Ryan.
Thanks, George. So first up, Microsoft has reported on a phishing campaign. It assesses to likely use AI-generated code for obfuscation and defense evasion, continuing the evidence of AI being used to really lower the barrier of entry for social engineering campaigns. The campaign used phishing that leveraged a small business email account for distribution, and that contained an attached SVG file. If inspected, it begins to appear as if it's a normal kind of business dashboard file if you kind of start to look through the code rather than anything malicious. SVG files allow for embedded JavaScript as well as several obfuscation features, and that makes it an attractive file type to use in phishing campaigns, particularly of late. We've mentioned in recent weeks some of those uses. When opened by the victim, the file itself opens a web page with a fake captcha pop-up, and that redirects to a credential harvesting site, which is kind of the ultimate goal of the phishing. Looking further into the SVG file codes, evidence of AI usage is further seen through a series of sort of over-engineered code structure, overly descriptive variable names, and obfuscation resembling that of something generated by an LLM. Microsoft did say that although this AI obfuscation occurred, the campaign was blocked by Microsoft Defender for Office. The important takeaway really here is that although AI usage grows in kind of developing laws and code for malicious use, there still remains many common behaviors outside of AI that continue to be useful for mitigation and detection, which appears to be the case here. And next up, researchers at Unit 42 documented a new threat cluster they named Phantom Taurus as a Chinese Nexus APT that's quietly operated for years, primarily targeting government and telecom sectors. The group's campaigns also aligned with China's geopolitical intelligence priorities, particularly in the regions of strategic interest, such as Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. A group's main toolkit is the Netstar malware suite, which is a modular framework for stealthy long-term access. And analysis reveals some code overlaps with some other Chinese APT tools, such as PlugX and ShadowPad, though the infrastructure used by the actor appears to sort of set it aside as a separate entity as compared to these previous tools. The group initially relied on exploiting email servers, but since shifted towards targeting databases. Campaigns frequently begin with spear phishing emails, either carrying malicious documents or links, followed by the deployment of loaders to install Netstar. The group represents a long-term espionage capability aimed at persistent access rather than immediate disruption. And recommendations-wise, both internet-facing patching for server compromise as well as user awareness training remains a key mitigation against initial access, in particular, again for this group. And that's all from me, George.
Thank you very much, Ryan. And now over to Ethan for some AKIRA news. Over to you, Ethan.
Thanks, George. The AKIRA ransomware group is actively engaged in a campaign targeting SonicWall SSL VPN customers by exploiting an older critical vulnerability, CVE-2025-41245 This campaign, which began in mid-July 2025, involves opportunistic mass exploitation across victims of various sizes and sectors. Initial access is gained through malicious SSL VPN logins, often originating from virtual private server hosting providers, utilizing credentials believed to have been previously harvested from devices vulnerable to CVE-2025-40766. A key feature of these intrusions is the threat actor's ability to successfully bypass one-time password multi-factor authentication, even on accounts where it is enabled. While researchers suspect this success stems from stolen OTP seeds, the exact method of bypassing MFA remains unclear. The attacks are notable for their speed, exhibiting extremely short dwell times, often measured in hours and sometimes less than an hour, with ransomware deployment occurring as quickly as 55 minutes after initial access. Upon gaining access, attackers rapidly move to internal network scanning and lateral movement using tools like Impacket for server message block activity and RDP. They prioritize Active Directory and target VM, backup, and replication servers to extract credentials. Attackers employ defensive agent techniques, including abusing legitimate tools like Datto, RMM, and performing a bring your own vulnerable driver attack to disable endpoint detection and response tools. Data is collected using WinRAR and exfiltrated via tools like rclone or FileZilla before the AKIRA ransomware is deployed. To mitigate this ongoing threat, organizations must reset all SSL VPN credentials and Active Directory credentials used for SSL VPN access and LDAP on any SonicWall device that has ever run firmware vulnerable to the CVE. Thanks, George.
Thank you very much, Ethan. That is all we have time for this week. Remember, if you have any questions or comments, please remember to contact us at cti@kroll.com. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you next time.